Hello, in today's CATIA V6 or 3D Experience tutorial, I'm going to be going over working with multiple bodies in a single 3D part. So not exactly an assembly, more with Boolean operations and combining or even deleting multiple bodies. So before I elaborate, I'll just create some simple shapes just to demonstrate what I mean by that. I think just learning by doing is the best method here. So I'll create just two new bodies separately outside of the part body. And let's say, got a sketch going over here. I'll make this 200 by 100. Okay. Oh, sorry. I sort of want to pad that up first. So let's pad this profile 50 in one direction, 50 in the other. Go back to the other body, create another sketch on the same plane. And let's do a profile. Again, just something arbitrary, doesn't really matter. And I'm going to make it into a shaft revolve. Okay, there you go. Let me see if I can change the colors here, just to make it stand apart. There you go. All right, so right now, so the identifying feature of knowing whether parts are combined or not is to see if there is a solid edge at their intersection, or a solid outline. Right now you can see that there isn't. For example, within this one part, this revolved part, you can see these solid edges are black, but you can see that these are soft edges and you can't select this edge, for example. It's an indication that these are actually separated parts that just happen to be in the same 3D part design file. So what we can do here is either go to your essentials or go to your structure tabs. I'll keep it here, and we could use our Boolean options. We have assemble, add, remove, and intersect. So I'll show you what they mean. I'll actually start with the add first. So pretty self-explanatory. So let's say I want to add body 5 to body 4. It already auto-selected that for me, right? And now you can see these solid edges, and I can select them. Let me, right, and then body 4 has absorbed body 5, and we could see the Boolean operation here. And everything that was in body 5 gets carried over as well. But I'm going to undo that and just Control Z over here. Yeah, so the Boolean operation went away. I could do remove. Say I want to remove body 5 from body 4. I could preview, see what that looks like. I think it's probably looks cooler if I do it the other way around. If I remove body 4 from body 5. Yeah. So let's say this is like a mold for that shaft part. But what you can also do is, I'm gonna get out of here. Okay, it sort of lost the color, but that's okay. Let's say this wasn't a shaft, right? I'm not going to delete aggregated elements, keep that sketch. Let's say I wanted to actually do a groove, right? Preview, looks good. It's a groove, but why am I still seeing it as if it was a shaft, right? So a groove is like, again, you groove something out. It should be like a cavity instead of an actual positive part. But we could see over here, I don't know how easy to see it is to see on the recording, but there's a yellow plus button on the corner of this icon that indicates that this is a positive body, whether it be a pad or a shaft or a rib or whatnot. And there is a negative here on this icon to indicate that it is a negative body. So what you see in front of you in this visualizer isn't actually indicative of whether it is in positive or negative space. But some things that are maybe counterintuitive is that you could still add, let's say, body 4 to body 5. Preview. Okay. All right, now I added a negative part, right? So just simple math tells me that if I add a negative number, for example, I should still be subtracting from the part. But that's only because this add function is just absolute, right? Add will add, and it will just treat all bodies as positive. Same thing as this, remove. Remove will always treat bodies as negative. For example, if I went back, undid this, and I just removed, let's say, this part 4, remove part 4 from part 5, preview, looks good, right? But I'm removing a negative, I'm removing a negative body, right? So it might be intuitive to think, wait, will that add it? No, it won't. Remove is still absolute as well. So it will remove and create a cavity here. But so, okay, so what's the point of the positive and negative? That's for the assemble function. So the assemble Boolean operation actually takes into account whether it is positive or negative. So let's say I want to assemble body 4 with body 5. Body 5 is positive, body 4 is negative. So it will automatically do positive body 5 plus negative body 4. So it accounts for the negatives, right? So it creates that cavity. But for whatever reason, it's not really recommended to use the assemble function. I don't know if it's because some kind of backend software thing that makes it less robust, or maybe it's just from a top level. This has less ambiguity, and you don't really have to worry about the little icons that you could even barely see. So usually you would just stick to the add and remove functions. Okay, intersect is does probably what you expect it to do. Let's say intersect body 4 with body 5. Preview, right? It just gives you the intersection. Okay. Again, all of these get absorbed. But this isn't the right way to structure your tree when you're doing Boolean operations for multiple reasons. Let's say I added another body here. Yeah, this is separate. Okay, that's already my in-work object. Say I created a circle somewhere here. Let's exit and then pat it. Sure. Okay, I have this. So what am I going to do? Let's say I just want to, let's say I want to make a cavity onto this rectangular mold. So let's say remove part body 4 from body 6, or I should say that's body 5 actually, preview, looks good. Okay, and then this is some whatever part that I want to add to the function that I did just here. So this is now combined and now just called together as a body 5. So let's say I want to add body 6 to body 5, preview. Yep, you can see that little line went away, indicating that it has combined. There's technically nothing wrong about this, but from a, I guess, readability standpoint and just a structure standpoint, you have to go into your body here, and then you have to go into your remove, and then you have to go into your add to look at these bodies. And actually, a worse way to do this is if I don't know if I could do this. Yeah, if I added this body here, right? So now your tree just gets, instead of widening your tree, if you could call these branches, you're sort of deepening your tree to a point where if you had multiple parts where you're doing these Boolean operations in series, it's going to get very deep and it's not going to be very searchable. So to begin with, I undid everything. So we should add it to our part body and sort of just treat our part body as the main body, because it is after all, and do our operations on that. So let's say I started off with this rectangular piece and I added it onto the part body. Okay. Then I should remove this onto there. And then I should add this onto there. And this way, it's very readable. If I collapse all these, then I see just the 3 separate bodies, which is much more intuitive. Okay, another thing that might be somewhat common to use is union trim. Edit. Where did it go? Let me just shell this part actually. Select the face belong to the sort before, yeah. Oh, I'm in the thing. So body 5. Okay. So union trim is you can use another body to trim another body. So you can use one body to trim another body. Where did it go? Structure, union trim. Select the bodies, right? I have my status bar enabled, so it actually tells me what to do. I got confused at first because like what am I supposed to do? It says select the body to trim. So I want to trim this body. It already automatically selected the body 5 because it knows that that's the only thing that it intersects with. And let's say I wanted to remove this outer face, right? Then I have trimmed this original cylinder using this as a border, right? And then the union part comes in where it then combines the trimmed pieces together to form one body. So the trimmed piece gets absorbed into the body that you were using for the trimming. So there you go. That's probably your most common operations. You could get very creative with this, and I'll talk about this more later. But it's typically better to use your Boolean operations to combine different features because your links, for example, I'll just call it the trim a Boolean operation as well. Your links between your bodies, body 5 and body 6, for example, is very well clearly defined, right? So you're once you have links where you, I guess, continuously project. For example, I use if I sketch on a surface and I project 3D elements, and now my new body has a link by projecting one of the elements from another body, and I don't really see that in a tree, and then I continuously do other things that link bodies to other bodies. It could create issues. It could create issues when you're updating your bodies. It could create an infinite update loop. It could also just break your parts when you're making changes to your bodies down the line. So it would be better to use Boolean operations to have a well-defined point of connection between your bodies. The other thing that you can do with a lot of these Boolean operations, let me actually change this to be something else, or I could just, yeah, okay, I'll use this actually. Let's let's add all of these body 4 to part body. Okay, let's add body 5 to part body. Okay, so I could actually change these to different types of Boolean operations, so it's actually more modular in that sense. So if I change this to remove, then it removed that little shelled wall from this top part. Right, this isn't a great example of it, but it does show the function still. So I guess it brings it brings a bit more robustness and modularity to your designs. But that's pretty much the most common functions that you would do. And for now, I will see you next time.